Everybody, welcome to the I'm a Celebrity live with none other than Jake.
Hello.
Welcome, Jake.
Hi, mate. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been a wild week, one of the wildest weeks in I'm a Celeb history, with Olivia Howard leaving and the arrival of Matt Hancock.
Yeah.
What have you thought so far? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of going ons. Obviously, first off, like you mentioned, Olivia Howard leaving, which I think is a massive talking point because she was a lot of people's favourite to win the whole show.
Yeah.
I know Liv personally. I've met her a few times. She's a great girl. She's got some good banter. She's not shy to speak her mind. Do you know what I mean? And I think she would have been great in there with Matt coming in. So it's a real shame, and it's going to be interesting to find out what's actually happened because it's gone a bit quiet since she's left.
Mm-hmm.
And we've not really found out a reason. And I know how gutted she'll be. You've been given this huge opportunity, probably the biggest opportunity of your career, to go in, I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. I was lucky enough to do it in 2014, and it was the best thing I've ever done. So, yeah, she will be absolutely gutted. And I think a lot of viewers will be gutted as well because, like I said, she's a huge character. We all know and love her from Love Island, where she spoke her mind a lot and she caused a lot of drama on that. So yeah, it's very disappointing, and I think if people will comment, they'll agree. I think it's a bit disappointing that she had to leave so early.
Definitely, because she was like one of the biggest characters there, and I can just imagine her laying into Matt Hancock on his arrival, and that's what everybody has been talking about, his unforgettable arrival on the bridge.
Yeah, I was. I think everybody's been sat waiting for it. I think since it's been announced. I don't want to talk all about Matt Hancock, but I'm guessing this first one is going to be a lot about him. But just going through the week until he got there, I feel like there was a really good chemistry in camp. There's a lot of really nice characters in there. I think Babatunde is really funny. Owen's been great. I think he's really normal, down to earth lad. My two personal favourites at the minute is Jill Scott and Mike Tyndall. I think they're absolutely brilliant. I think Jill is just so down to earth. Obviously, she did it for the ladies with the Lionesses, and then winning the Euros. So yeah, she's brilliant. But I think the whole week has kind of now been taken over by Matt Hancock, and obviously Sean as well. Sean's coming late, and I think Sean's been great. I think he's really funny. Obviously, he's in there for a bit of a redemption story as well.
Yeah.
And we heard a little bit about that last night and how kind of he's owning up to his mistakes and apologising, but that's in the past, and we've all got a past, you know. But yeah, now it's become kind of the Matt Hancock show. He's on his third trial now, with the eating trial tonight. So yeah, I think he's gonna get a lot of airtime for a little while.
Yeah, there's a big debate on Twitter at the moment. Like some people are triggered by his appearance on TV, which is very understandable, and then other people are like, kind of get over it, you know, give him a chance.
Yeah.
Do you think people are going to warm to him a bit more as the weeks go on, or is he just done?
Do you know what? Like, I try and see it from both sides. I did a little poll on my Instagram, and I kind of was asking the same question because I'm not a huge follower of politics. I don't really follow politics. But I know that what happened in lockdown was unforgivable.
Yeah.
And I don't think winning a few stars can change that. It probably should be at work with his members of parliament or whatever it is. But instead he's in the jungle. And I think that's a lot of people are saying, like, he's winning few stars is not going to change the fact of what happened. But also you've got to think he wasn't the only one in that. There was a lot of people dealing with the lockdowns and stuff and not dealing with it well. So I always try and give someone a bit of a chance. and I'm trying to look at it as in it's not Matt Hancock, the guy who had an absolute shambles in lockdown. It's Matt Hancock just on I'm a Celebrity. So that's what I'm trying to do. I don't like to see anyone being bullied, do you know what I mean, or being really singled out, but he's got to expect that in a way because of how badly everything was handled.
Definitely, yeah.
And a lot of people lost a lot of things.
Yeah.
Then Batman there says, I don't think Matt will win. Boy George all the way. You see, Boy George is in there as kind of a redemption story as well. But I do like Boy George. I think he's great. I think it was on the first night when he was meditating on his bed. Like it literally reminded me of the Blair Witch Project. Imagine you wake up and somebody's just sat cross-legged on the bed. I was crying.
It was a vision, all right. So he has his first eating.
It's definitely a vision.
Yeah, he has his first eating challenge tonight, and ITV has teased a clip already. Do you remember your worst eating challenge in there? Like, what was it? And is it as bad?
You know what? I never got an eating challenge.
Really?
And I don't know. I never got one. All my challenges were all like more physical, and I'm a bit gutted that I never got an eating challenge because I think that's what everyone goes on I'm a Celebrity for in a way. They're like, oh, imagine can I eat a witchetty grub? Because you can't just rock into your garden and dig up a witchetty grub and start munching down on it. So yeah, I'm a bit gutted I never got one, and I know that how bad I am with certain foods. Like if I accidentally have a tomato in my sandwich, I'm gagging. So I can't imagine what I'd be like eating a kangaroo's anus or whatever it is. But yeah, the eating challenges are mad, and I think tonight will be pretty funny. You've seen Boy George already gagging away in the trial, and then you're going to see Matt. And I think a lot of people, when Matt got put in, they were saying, give him all the challenges, let's make him suffer, give him all the eating challenges. And I think tonight, if he eats everything and he does well, then I think people will go, you know what? Rather than just giving him all the airtime, they probably just won't vote for him to do another trial. Because the one thing about the whole kind of entrance of Matt is that other people are suffering with their airtime. And I want to see what Jill and Mike have got to say. I want to hear Owen talk about his life. Do you know what I mean? So definitely, I think people, if he does well tonight, because he did do really well. Let's be honest, he got 11 stars. He did really well. So let's see how tonight plays out.
Yeah, and just going back to Boy George, there's been a bit of a rift between him and Charlene. You've obviously been in the jungle. Are your annoyances heightened when you're in there? Like, do you notice everything?
You know what you do because you're knackered and you're hungry.
Yeah.
So you do start to kind of get a little bit annoyed with little things. But Boy George is a bit of an icon. I'm actually surprised he's on the show, and he's used to things his way. And I was laughing when he got the eating challenge because I was thinking, I hope they don't give him any uncut mushrooms, or he's going to be fuming. You know what I mean? He'll probably say, I'm a celeb, get me out of here. Yeah. But yeah, like everything does heighten. But then again, I was just happy someone was cooking for me because I can't cook. So when people were cooking, I was chilling. I was like, nice. Do you need me to cut anything? A bit like Owen last night, you seen him cutting stuff up. That was me. I just helped with the little bits because I can't really cook. And I think you get bored in there very easily. So if you're not doing anything, then maybe Boy George is a little bit bored and he wants to cook and he wants to kind of get involved a little bit more. And you're also thinking, I guess, airtime. Cooking's always a bit, it's going to be shown on TV. So in a way, are they thinking, oh God, if I'm not involved in the cooking, I might not be getting shown on TV. I might not be getting that airtime. So yeah, there is that. But yeah, you're moody within 3 or 4 days because you're so tired, you're really hungry, and you're just dirty all the time.
You probably can't sleep either.
The sleeping is tough. But saying that, I never really struggled to fall asleep, apart from when it was raining. When it rains in there, it's the worst place in the world because everything just wet the whole time. Your sleeping bag's wet, your clothes are wet, and obviously the sun comes out and they dry pretty quick, but it's not a nice experience when it's raining in there.
And you get like bored when you're sitting around the camp when you're not doing trials and stuff. Like, how do you keep yourself entertained?
Yeah, you get really bored. Like, I don't even. You end up talking about food. That's like the only thing you talk about. After about 5 days, and you've learned everything about everyone, you just start saying what you're missing, and you're missing your food, you're missing your family, and that's the kind of things you talk about. But boredom's a huge thing. So after like a week, when the campmates start to decide who do the trials themselves, that's when the boredom really kicks in. Because if you don't do a trial, or you don't go out and do a bush tucker, do a dingo dollar, you're literally sat around all day, and it can become boring. And that's the only thing I really struggled with. I loved everything else. I just got a little bit bored, but that's because I'm always wanting to do something.
Yeah. And what are your predictions for next week?
I think more of the same, if I'm honest. I think I'd like somebody to have a proper chat with Matt. And that's why I'm a little bit annoyed Olivia's not in there, because I feel like she would be someone that would go, yeah, but you messed up. Like, can you explain what happened? Why did that happen?
Yeah, they're all
we
kind
haven't
of
really seen that yet, but
yeah.
I don't know if it's it's not wanting to be that person. I quite liked how Scarlett went about it last night. I really like Scarlett. I think she seems like a really nice person, and she's basically saying she's not happy, but she's willing to give him a try in the jungle. They've got to live together.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, nobody wants to seem like a nasty person. So I don't know if it's going to come out now, but I'm hoping that a few more people get a chance to do a trial. I'd love to see Mike do a trial, because he literally walked in there and he said fear is an emotion that he doesn't feel, or you have to. I'm like, wow, this guy is not scared of anything. He's already doing bush tucker trials in there. He's picking up spiders and everything. So yeah, I'd like to see him do a trial.
Yeah.
What was my hardest trial? Oh, sorry, I'm just reading the question. My hardest trial. The live trial was my first trial. So I just got in the jungle. I came in late, so I was basically, I'm not going to say I was basically Matt Hancock, but I was the late arrival. And then 2 days later, we did the live trial, where it's literally live on TV, and Antoinette come in. And that was really, really tough, because I was so thankful that I'd got the opportunity to be in the jungle. I was very nervous. I'm not a celebrity, do you know what I mean? I did the X Factor, and I just went straight in there, and it was like, what am I doing? I was surrounded by all these celebs, and I was just proper nervous. And then, for some reason, I knew I was going to get it when they said it was the live trial, and they said I'd been voted to do it. And I can just remember and I'm not joking, my hands were like this. I was so nervous, and it wasn't the hardest because of what was happening to me. It was just very, very surreal. And I can just remember I kind of went into a bit of a daze, and I can't even really remember doing the trial, but it was just so nerve-wracking knowing that you're on live television in front of millions of people.
Yeah.
With a snake wrapped around your neck, trying to get ball on the hole on this thing. It was mad.
And you're obviously, the campmates are really close. Are you still close to the people you were on your series with in 2014?
Everybody talks if you see each other, but you kind of go back to your normal lives. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've all shared this amazing experience together, which is, you can't ever change it. Only you lot were in there, only you 10 or 12 or whatever, how many, you all have this experience that nobody else can kind of talk about because they weren't there. But apart from that, like, we talk if we see each other, or like pop in on Instagram and message. I was just doing Footloose, the musical, and I came out of stage door, and Edwina had come to watch me. So that was really nice, because me and Edwina went in late together, and she kind of looked after me in there. So that was really cute that she like turned up and watched me in a musical. So that was really nice. And I think you do kind of build bonds, but like I say, you go back to your life, and work gets in the way and everything like that. So exactly. I've got a lot of respect for everyone that I did the show with, definitely.
Yeah. And is there anything you regret from the show from not doing? Like, you said you didn't do an eating trial. Is there anything else that you wish you would have done differently?
Nah, I didn't have a game plan. I just went in there and embraced every second of it and enjoyed it. And I absolutely loved every second. And honestly, if you go in there with a game plan, you're probably not going to do that well, because you can't have a game plan in there. Things change. And I forgot the cameras were there after about 10 minutes. You forget they're there, and you're just getting through it, and you're all sticking together. So I would change nothing. I would have given myself an eating challenge. That's about it. But apart from that, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think that's all we have time for today, Jake. But thank you so much for joining us, and have some more celeb gossip next week.
Yeah, excited to see what happens this week, and pop back on next week and have a bit more of a chat.
Definitely. Thanks so much.
See you later, mate.